The notion that she's describing, I don't disagree with. I do think that there's a way to educate yourself effectively, and I think you can educate yourself very poorly. And I think there's a lot of people who will call certain things education or learning, and they're learning incorrectly. With that being said, I think if you're truly learning something, it should be able to be objectively and empirically demonstrated, or you should be able to do something multiple times. Or what if you, it's kind of like math. If you're someone who says, I understand math, you should be able to, say, for example, do multiple equations and get the correct response each time, assuming that the type of equation is similar or something that you should know. Like, you watching this, you probably understand basic math, right? So if I said to you 2 plus 2, add those up, give me the sum of 2 plus 2. You could probably do it. If I say give me 7 plus 4, you could probably do it. If I say give me 144 plus 2,756, you could probably do it. If I kept adding just a bunch of different numbers, you probably could do it because you understand the concept of addition. So you learned how to add and you understand how to add. And no matter what numbers I give you, you can always give me the correct output within reason, of course, unless you mess up, something. But you understand the idea behind it, and that's what's most important. What she's talking about, she's like, oh, well, someone said they're learning, but they looked up on like WhatsApp, this probably article about how to cure COVID. Well, that's not learning, because in order for you to understand COVID at a deep level, you probably do have to understand a bit of biology, probably a bit about viruses, bacteria, maybe germ theory, I don't know. You can say, I know a thing about this topic, but that doesn't mean you've learned that thing. Does that make sense? Like, you can learn a minute part of something, but I think learning a minute fact about something or learning a minute idea about something is not the same as what he's talking about and what colleges market, which is learning a whole skill set or learning a broad idea that you can apply to, in college's case, a job. So something that you're able to execute upon consistently over X amount of years. Some dude who read an article about COVID and has his beliefs, which, by the way, her beliefs might also be incorrect. Many doctors gave views about COVID that were not correct. And these are people who are educated in colleges that should know about COVID, which, again, kind of goes to my other point earlier. Just because you go to university doesn't mean that you're really educated. It doesn't mean you're actually skilled or that you really know what you're talking about. It just gives you a certain sense of status, which people falsely attribute to you knowing more than everyone else. It's not true. You can have two doctors that disagree on a medical topic. Which doctor's correct then? That's how the real world works. One doctor will be correct, one doctor might be incorrect, or both doctors might be incorrect. Or depending on how complex this topic is, both doctors could be correct. But overall, you can certainly learn things outside of college. You do not need to go to college.
Most people like Samir are scammers who just sell courses.
This is an interesting topic because I've heard this a lot. People who sell courses are scammers. I think there's a lot of people who sell courses that are scammy. I think that a lot of courses can be scams, but I think that's true about college as well. I'm sure you were surprised that I was going to go there, but to me, I'll say this. What makes a course a scam is if what you market the course to be, like if the final results of the course is within the course. And I know that was kind of like maybe that's a weird definition. Basically, this is what I mean. If I go to college and I pay, say, for example, $1,000 to take a course on kinesiology, and by the end of that course, the professor did the best of, whatever he could within his power to teach me kinesiology, would I consider that course a scam? No, I don't consider it a scam. Why? Because the course promised to teach me about kinesiology, maybe the basics, and he did put in place the ability for me to learn the basics of kinesiology. Now, if I didn't learn it, that doesn't mean that the course is a scam. It could just mean that I'm lazy. It could just mean I didn't pay attention. But the framework was in place. The structure was in place for me to learn. And that's what makes a course not a scam, in my opinion. Same with someone selling an independent course. If I give you a course and say, here's my routine to help you build bigger muscles, it's the exact same thing that I did. I'm teaching you what I did to build muscle. Now, if you choose not to listen to it, or if it doesn't work for you, that doesn't mean that it's a scam. It could be a bunch of things. It could be that your body type's different. Chances are, if it's something like bodybuilding. I'm in this hypothetical. You probably didn't follow through, and that's probably the case with most people. And it's kind of the point. I'm kind of like beating around the bush, but that's kind of the point that I want to make. A lot of people will call a course a scam because they have a false expectation of what the course will give them. They think if I take this course and pay this money, I'm guaranteed to get a result. If I take a course on writing a book, I'm guaranteed to have a book by the end of this. No, you took a course on how to write a book. It's this person's perspective or this person's hacks to writing a book effectively or quickly or in a structured format. It's up to you to write the damn book. And most people aren't going to write the damn book because most people are fucking lazy. That's what it comes down to. So a lot of people call a course a scam where it's like, you just didn't do the work. That's on you. Like, do the work. Another argument I've heard is people say, well, courses are scams because everything on the internet's free and you can just look it up for free. It's true. I could say the same thing about college. You go to college and you get an English major. You have an English major. You get an English degree. What did you do when you were in your English degree? You read about Shakespeare. You wrote some fiction. You understand the structure of fiction or about poetry. Could you not learn all that stuff on YouTube for free? Could you not have just gone to the library and read a bunch of books on literature and learned these things for free? Yes. Before the internet was around, you could have learned all the stuff for free at your local library. But that's not what a course gives you. The issue is that people think that information is what a course provides you. It's not. It's structure. Courses provide structure. When you go to college, what does your professor give you the first day? If they're a good professor, if they're a normal professor, a syllabus. What is a syllabus? It shows you the structure of the course. It shows you what they're going to be teaching you and when they'll be teaching it. So that way you can follow along. And if you want to jump ahead like me, you can. But you always know exactly where the course is going. What does a lot of courses, when you buy them digitally, do? They usually give you an outline of the course, which is like a digital syllabus. It shows you exactly what you're expected to learn in that digital course. So what a course provides you, it's not the information, it's the structure. Now it's up to you to apply whatever's in the course, whatever information's in the course. It's up to you to apply that. But what a good course does, is it provides structure so that way the distance between point A and point Z isn't so complicated. Like if you went to college and took, like, say for example, a math class, and the class on day 2 went to calculus, but it promised to teach it skipped basic algebra or basic math, like basic addition and basic subtraction, basic division, basic multiplication. That's a bad course because, and let's say in this hypothetical, it promised to teach you like the basics of math. That's a bad course because what was promised was not delivered. It didn't teach you basic math. It skipped ahead to like calculus, and that was a false representation of what it should be teaching. And it didn't give you the baby steps to help you get from point A to point B. It went from A to like Z in like a day, and it's just not structured properly. Therefore, it's not a good course. So I know these guys are probably gonna say that like courses are a scam. A lot of people think courses are a scam. I don't think so. I think if course is structured, that's good enough. If you choose to take a course and you don't apply what's in the course, that's a personal problem. That's probably the case for most people. It's a you problem, man.